Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome here as we get ready for knockout qualifying for the penultimate race of the Chase for the Championship, Chase race number 9, here today at the high banks of the 3, 4, even 5 wide superspeedway, Talladega Superspeedway. We are getting ready here for 20 drivers to try and make their way into today's event. This is going to be what we consider a wild card race, meaning we have no idea what's going to happen. Restrictor plate tracks always seem to be a kind of underdog racetrack, and this is going to be very important track based on what kind of scenarios we're going to have on what drivers will still be in the hunt for the championship heading into next week's season finale for the Hersheys Cup Series at Auto Club Speedway. If there was a track that's like a living, breathing monster, Talladega Superspeedway is certainly one of those. As I said, 3 wide, even 4 wide racing, we'll see. We'll see drivers get tremendous runs on each other if they can stay in the draft. And, of course, the dreaded big one always rears its ugly head whenever we come to a track like this. Will that big one take up the championship hopes of drivers that still have a shot of trying to reel in Anthony McCurry? Can Anthony McCurry make it through Talladega Superspeedway without having something happen? Sean Galligan, his pit stall was before the start-finish line, as is just about every driver, since the start-finish line is down between the tri-oval and turn 1. So this will actually be his first timed lap this time around. And you see that he's got some friends, Joseph Srigley, Brandon Gonzalez. That's something you're going to need if you're going to get yourself a speed inside the top 7 here today. And the first lap time officially laid down by Sean Galligan is a 192.940. You'll notice that we've switched over from timed laps to miles per hour. That was done a couple days ago, and I've not switched it over, and we're going to keep it this way because, change. Chris Dowd just laid down a 190. Zachary Fitzwater, 193.107. So right now, he's got the fastest lap on track. We'll see if Sean Galligan can best that, as he's been able to stay in the draft of Gonzalez and Srigley. We'll see how Srigley and Gonzalez's laps are here, being in a 3-car pack. Coming to the stripe. Do any of them jump to the top of the board? Brandon Gonzalez, 197.708. Then Galligan and Srigley also with 197s. They're now the top 3. Let's see if anybody else has formulated up a group yet. There you see Johnny Gardner and Grayson Acavito. They might be able to form a little bit of a draft at some point. Seth Cole's by himself. Sam McMillan's got Dallas McIntosh. McMillan right now 194.055, 4th on the board, now drops to 5th. Right now Dallas McIntosh 12th fastest. There's a bit of a draft going on here between Zachary Fitzwater and Zach Flickinger. Right now Fitzwater 4th fastest, 195.086. Flickinger is in the cellar in 17th. But getting that draft off the 76 could help him. And Stephen Pollard III just jumped up into the top 5. He's in a little pack here with Jace Nelson, Michael Norman. Right now, Pollard is 4th. Norman is 6th. Jace right now 14th. Johnny Gardner, we saw he was in the slipstream of the 43 of Grayson Acavito. You can see he's jumped up now to 7th. Dallas McIntosh, who was in the slipstream of, I think that was Fitzwater, jumped up to 4th. And Chris Dowd just jumped up. Who's he working with? I thought I saw him by himself before. Oh, now he's reeled in John Cittadino, and Matt McIntyre about to join that. So Dowd jumps up to 4th. Cittadino right now 10th. And where's Matt running 16th? And if these 3 can get reeled in by Fitzwater and Flickinger, that's a 5-car pack that could really produce some speed. But the time is running out for them. So 10 seconds to go. These drivers are going to have to really get a good lap time here to jump up into the top 7. Will they be able to do it? Right now, Dowd is in 5th. Can Cittadino or McIntyre jump up into the top 7? Here we go. Lap time. 202.303, 202.975 for McIntyre, and 201.936 for Chris Dowd. Their fastest laps, and that puts them into the top 7. That might be the money laps for them. What about these guys back here? Norman, Pollard, Nelson, none of them made it to the top 7. Gonzalez 3rd, Galligan 4th, Wrigley 6th. And I believe that's the last of the drivers that will get scored unless this group's going to still get scored. Let's see. Can Seth Cole, McIntosh, or McMillan do anything? Cole up to 19th. McIntosh just misses in 8th, and the driver that just beats him out is Sam McMillan. 8/100ths. McMillan gets in over McIntosh. And all 3 drivers from this group will make it in. All 3 drivers from this group will make it in. And they'll be joined by the 41 of Sam McMillan as the session is going to come to a close. Matt McIntyre, how about that lap time? 202.972. 0.6 faster than John Cittadino. But Cittadino will transfer in along with Brandon Gonzalez, Sean Galligan, Chris Dowd, Joseph Srigley, and Sam McMillan by 8/100ths will just edge out the driver that he was drafting with, Dallas McIntosh in the 16. So McIntosh fails to make the show, as does Flickinger, Fitzwater, Gardner, Acevedo, Pollard, Norman, Nelson. I'm surprised that Pollard, Norman, and Nelson didn't produce more speed than they did. They were a 3-car pack. There was Fitzwater and Flickinger who were together. Acevedo and Gardner were together, but they were only 2-car packs, and they produced more speed than the group of 3 cars. Austin Geipe, Joshua Michaels, Kyle Matthews, Seth Cole, and Cody Lamas all didn't even have the benefit of draft until very late for Seth Cole, and so they will not make the race. So we have our 7 drivers that transfer in. Let's get ready now to go racing here today in chase race number 9 at Talladega Superspeedway. And good afternoon, everybody, and welcome here as we get ready for chase race number 9, setting up for the season finale next week at Auto Club Speedway. Today we are at Talladega Superspeedway getting ready for 20 laps of action-packed racing. This is certainly going to be a very exciting event because we are at Talladega Speedway Physics. Now, if you guys tuned in for the Daytona 500, you know what we're going to be expecting in this race. With Speedway Physics, the draft works super effectively. If you can get in somebody's draft, doesn't matter if you're 7 cars back, you're going to be able to suck right up to their back bumper, and that could play a key factor into the moves that are going to be made potentially for the win here today at this historic super speedway track. We are getting ready to see who is going to still be in contention for the championship next week. Now, the way things stand right now, if this were the season finale, it would come down to 4 drivers that would still be mathematically in the hunt. But they still have a shot here with Talladega Superspeedway. And Talladega always seems to cater to the underdog or the driver struggling in the point standings. So, drivers that are mathematically at this point outside of the hunt for the championship, never say die, because Talladega could certainly put you right back in to the title hunt. One driver that's got a lot of pressure coming into this race would be Anthony McCrory, because after last week, he was able to grow his points lead over everybody else. The big one, though, could swallow him up today and put everybody back in line to try and take the championship away from him next week. So this is going to be a very interesting race for that 61 team. We'll see if they can survive. Starting on the pole position is Joshua Circuli, 3-time winner this season. His most recent win coming at an SS track, and that was at, somewhere. I can't seem to remember where. Boy, I'm great at my job. But Circuli starts on the pole position nonetheless. He's trying to pick up his 4th win of the season. Now, for Joshua Circuli, he is one of those 3 drivers that have a chance to take the points lead from Anthony McCrory today with a victory. He is 3rd in the point standings, 39 points out. You heard correct, 39 points back. Alongside of him, a driver who's always had good numbers at restrictor plate tracks, Jessica Shelton, still looking for her first win of the season. Matter of fact, Charles Sanford, they're both looking to try and get the first win of the season for the Retro Racing Enterprises team. Now, we saw last week at Homestead Miami we end up seeing Carson Scott pick up the first win of the season for AS Racing, so there's a chance maybe we could see Retro Racing Enterprises win here today. Tim Walsh, it's been such a struggling chase for him. He ended up having tough luck 2 weeks ago, and then last week was no exception as he got involved in an incident there and ended up finishing poorly. And Tim Walsh finds himself 11th in the point standings, 82 points out. Now, he is still mathematically in the hunt to get the championship. If he came in 84 points back, he'd be eliminated. But being only 2 points shy of that elimination target, he is still in contention. He just needs a miracle today. He needs a good run, preferably a win, and just about everybody in front of him to finish outside the top 30. Alongside of him is going to be the 8 of Matt McIntyre, who had to race his way in. He ended up topping the charts in speed, and he starts himself off here in the 6th spot. So a great starting position for him. Wait, is it 6th? No, it's 4th. My bad. I couldn't tell if we were in row 2 or row 3. Trent Dunham, he's been on a bit of a momentum streak as of late. Had a solid top 5 run last week at Homestead. He will start off in 5th alongside of Levi McIntyre, still trying to find his first win of the season, rolling off in 6th. Same deal for Pichu London. He has not found victory lane yet this season. He'll roll off from the 7th spot, and alongside of him will be Blaine Keys, who is the first driver officially eliminated from the championship hunt. He comes into this race dead last of the chase drivers, 129 points back. There's no way, mathematically, he could get himself back into championship contention for next week at Auto Club. And then the final completion of the top 10, Sam McMillan, another go-or-go-home driver, had to race his way in. He just barely squeaked his way in by 4 100ths over Dallas McIntosh. And alongside of him, a guy who went to victory lane last week at Homestead, Miami, Carson Scott, looking for win number 2 as he will start in the 10th position. Here's the rest of your starting lineup as we look on back. Anthony McCurry rolls off from the 14th position, so we'll see what he can do from just about high mid-pack, if you will. There's Joshua Lee. Now he comes in 2nd in points, starting just a couple spots behind McCurry. He is 36 points back coming into today's race. As we look further back here, we're going to very shortly be coming up on the Napa Chevrolet of Benjamin Miles. But how about Jake Baskinger? Moved up 4 spots in the standings after a good run last week. He finds himself 71 points out. He is 7th in the points, but believe it or not, he still is mathematically in contention to maybe battle for the championship if he can come away with another great run here today. Move further back, there's Kean Eddington, 8th in the point standings. He's 73 points back. He needs a miracle today. There's Jeremy Jones in the 18. Now, he jumped up to 5th in points. He's only 50 points back, so Jones has a shot to maybe still be in contention for the championship next week. There is Benjamin Miles. He is 4th in points, 40 points out of the top position, but he still has a shot. Rocco Twyman, he's 10th in the points, 78 points back. Still mathematically eligible, but again, another driver that needs a miracle situation as we work further back. There is Cooper Cyron, our winner a couple of weeks ago. And then you work further back, and there your final row, Austin LaPlante and Holden Gluba, 41st and 42nd. But enough talk, it's time to go racing. Let's get the command to fire him up here today at Talladega Superspeedway. What are the chase points going to look like? Can't wait to find out. Let's get them rolling as we go down trackside.
Drivers, start your engines!
There is the command to fire him up. The Hershey Chevy SS Pace Car will lead all 42 drivers off pit road, and we will momentarily put them under green for 20 laps of racing. Anthony McCurry has got to be probably the most nervous driver in this field because a good run or poor run could be the difference maker into how many competitors he's going to have to face for the championship next week at Auto Club. A good run could eliminate most of his competition. Put this in perspective. Anthony McCurry is so far ahead in the point standings right now that if he can manage to finish 3 spots ahead of Benjamin Miles, 5 spots ahead of Joshua Circuli, and 7 spots ahead of Joshua Lee here today alone, Anthony McCurry would head into Auto Club completely worry-free of winning the championship. Nobody would be mathematically eligible to battle with him for the championship. He'll be starting on the outside line of row 7. That could be a good thing or a bad thing. He could utilize that to his benefit to drop towards the back, or he could get caught up in all the 3 and 4 wide action that could happen early on in this thing. So basically, at this point in time, the 4 drivers we're going to be keeping a close watch on are McCrory in the 61, Joshua Lee in the 5, our pole sitter Circuli in the 27, and Benjamin Miles in the 25. The long shot drivers that still have a chance to get into contention, Jeremy Jones and Noah Kars, they have an opportunity. They are 50 and 55 points back. And then the real long shot drivers, Jake Bastinger, Kian Eddington, Mason Powers, and Rocco Twyman. All really depends on where that 61 finishes as to whether their championship hopes will still be alive heading into next week at Auto Club. Here we go, though. Talladega Superspeedway is ready to play its part in this season's chase for the championship. 3-time winner Joshua Circuli. Jessica Shelton, still looking for her first win of the season, will lead the 42-car field down. And here we go. We're green flag racing at Dega. Shelton timed that green flag perfectly, and she's going to tuck right up in front of Circuli. She'll go to the lead. She had Matt McIntyre pushing her there, and a great start there for the Mountain Dew Chevrolet. And that's a valuable bonus point that Joshua Circuli lost out on of leading the first lap. And here comes Matt McIntyre. He says, all right, I pushed you to the lead. Now I want to take it. Crossover move into 3, and Matt McIntyre side by side with Shelton. Oh, look at Matt. Oh, man, I was going to say, look at the 99 trying to squeeze down in front of Tim Walsh, but Walsh was not going to allow Levi to make that move. And first lap of the day will be led by the 8 car of Matt McIntyre. He nearly got up into Jessica Shelton there. They are 3 wide, a couple of rows deep. Then they're double file, and then back to 3 wide again. Tim Walsh to the lead. Looking for that 61 Audi of Anthony McCrory, and he is in the middle, 3 wide back there with Ryan Acosta and Joshua Lee, Trent Dunham, and others. Bit of a precarious position right now to be in if you're Anthony McCrory, as Sam McMillan now goes to the inside line. Takes the lead away from Tim Walsh. That has to be, I think, our 4th lead change, and we haven't even completed lap 2. And Sam McMillan will get credit for a bonus point. He will complete the leading of that lap. William Brock now moves to 2nd, side by side for 3rd. Joshua Lee and Tim Walsh, couple of chasers there as McMillan gets out to a pretty sizable advantage. That's not exactly a good thing if you're the Haas Chevrolet. The field's going to get right to your back bumper very quickly, and they're going to do it with a lot of momentum, and there's not going to be much that McMillan's going to be able to do as far as mirror driving to try and block whichever line comes. But they're 3 wide behind him, so he'll get to enjoy the view at least a little bit longer. And here comes Mason Powers, 3 wins this season, all 3 of them coming at super speedways. Could he go 4 for 4 in his wins at SS tracks, at plate tracks? And he's got a big run heading into turn number 1. McMillan going to try and slam the door, and he succeeds at least this time. Mason Powers had Daniel Voiles and Noah Kars shoving him towards the front. And here comes the 25 of Benjamin Miles. He's up in the mix now, along with that 42 of Noah Kars. Noah Kars, a bit of a long shot driver. Benjamin Miles needs a good run to stay in contention mathematically. And I thought McMillan might be able to throw the block again on Mason Powers. Not this time. Powers, with the help of Noah Kars, to the inside line. And he will go to the lead, but Noah Kars looks like he might be peeking out of line 3 wide. No, instead it's Daniel Bouchard kicking him to the middle. And Bouchard will go for 2nd place 3 wide as Mason Powers, valuable lap led there, a bonus point. First chaser, actually, to lead a lap today. Bouchard now moves to 2nd, Miles to 3rd. Leon Alvarez now moves into 4th place. I don't know if you can necessarily count Freeway as a super speedway track. I know it was very draft reliant on the front and back straightaways, but if that's the case, Leon Alvarez has some great restrictor plate or SS track experience. James Richardson up here in the mix. Nice to see that 6 car running well. He's had a real struggling couple of last few weeks. A couple of DNFs he's racked up, and it's nice to see him having a good run there in the Advocare Ford. Matt McIntyre moves to 4th. Look who's bringing with him. That 19 of Cooper Cyron. Cyron, our winner a couple weeks ago at Michigan, completed the sweep for all 4 of the Joe Gibbs Racing drivers going to victory lane here in this first season of the Hersheys Cup Series. And look at this. Benjamin Miles got a friend down low. That's Matt McIntyre. And here comes Jake Baskinger. Now, Baskinger jumped up 4 spots in the standings last week. He moved from 11th to 7th. He still is mathematically in the hunt for the championship, and he's looking for win number 3 here today at Dega. Jake Baskinger could be one of those late movers and shakers. And he's gone to 4th place. He's now looking for 3rd, following the tire tracks of Matt McIntyre as Mason Powers continues to lead the way. And this is a very important thing for Mason Powers, because not only does he have the bonus point for leading the lap, but if he can stay out in front, he can gain another bonus point for leading the most laps in this event. Ryan Madden's now up to 4th there in the 88. He was a surprise top 10 finisher last week at Homestead, Miami. And now he's up here in the hunt, looking for his first win of the season. Joseph Srigley there in the Dunkin' Donuts Chevrolet. One driver whose name we have not mentioned this whole race is our points leader, Anthony McCrory. That's because he's running near the tail end of the field right now on the inside line, trying to work his way to the front. Last time by scored 38th. This time by scored 29th. He picked up 9 spots on that last lap. Oh, nope, it shot back to 32nd. So he picked up 6 spots in 1 lap. So now he's starting to make a charge to the front. Is Anthony McCrory. And you can see Joshua Circular, our pole sitter. He's falling back here. And there's one driver that's running way back here. Now he's not lost the draft, but he's running quite a ways back behind the field. That's Dylan Young in the 2 car. Got to wonder if maybe he's utilizing the slipstream to save some fuel, because there is a possibility these drivers can't make it the entire way on fuel and will have to make a pit stop at some point in time. Mason Powers continues to lead. Baskinger now up to 2nd. And now Ryan Madden's going to move him out of the way. Help from a couple of chasers. Kean Eddington. Actually, 4 chasers lined up there. Eddington, Jones, Lee, and Miles. And look at how quickly Austin LaPlante got up here into the top 10. He was scored 10th last time by. I'm certain he's running higher than that now. And he started dead last in this race. Took him about 9 laps to get up here. 3 wide for the lead. Eddington with a huge run into 3. Put Ryan Madden and Mason Powers in a 3 wide situation. And Kean Eddington goes to the lead. Eddington, another of those drivers that's a long shot driver, still has a shot at being mathematically eligible for the championship next week at Auto Club. Gets a valuable bonus point for leading the lap. Came into this race 8th in the standings, 73 points out. You got right behind him Jeremy Jones, 50 points out of the points lead, 5th in the standings. And here comes Benjamin Miles bypassing Joshua Lee. Moves him to 3rd. LaPlante now up to 4th, and Lee trying to tuck in line in 5th. But nope, here comes Leon Alvarez with a run help from Blaine Keys. He's going to try and take 5th place. No, not going to be able to do it. Lee hangs on to that spot. There's LaPlante running in the 4th position. Now he's still looking for his first win of the season. And the caution's out. First caution of the day coming out here on lap 10, just at the halfway point here at Dega. Kean Eddington will lead us under the caution. I'm looking, scanning the front of the field for that Audi number 61, and I don't see him. Let's find out who was involved in this. This could come down to who's going to have a hunt, be in the hunt for the championship next week and who isn't. As the cars coast on the back straightaway, let's see who was involved. Daniel Bouchard in the 4, JT Bryant the 22. John Cittadino in the 72 involved. Daniel Voiles back here. Maybe Jake Baskinger, who we saw was having a good run. They're stacking up. They're stacking up on the back straightaway. A little bit of damage on Sanford, a little bit of damage on Cooper Cyron. Looks like Pichu Lennon's got damage too after that stack up. Whoops. And Jake Baskinger, yes indeed, he does have damage on the left side of his Thrivent Ford. And if he's not up to speed when we go back green, that could be the end of his championship hopes right there. He was having such a good run too. Looks like the incident took place there into 3. There you see the skid marks. There's Cittadino and Voiles. They were obviously involved. JT Bryant and Danny Bouchard had to teleport to pit road. And we got pit stops, but there are some that are rolling the dice and staying out. Kean Eddington's not coming in. Neither is Jeremy Jones, Leon Alvarez, Sean Galligan, our runner-up finish from last week at Homestead, Miami. Noah Cars is staying out along with Holden Gluba. Looks like that's Mason Wood. Emmanuel Hartnett, Tristan Folks is staying out. And there was one other driver. Who was that? Cooper Cyron and Charles Sanfer. Benjamin Miles was the first one to come in and pit, giving up the 3rd position. And looks like it was a gas and go for the 25. He's already down and away. Austin LaPlante, looks like it was gas and go for him as well. He comes off pit road 2nd. Then it's Shelton, Lee, Blaine Keys, Srigley, Brock, Madden, Powers, and 10th off will be Matt McIntyre. It looks like it's gas and go for just about everybody here. So now we got pit strategy coming into play here. Apparently, Kean Eddington and company are going to try and clutch it out here under pacing laps to try and make it the rest of the way. We're under caution for the first time today, just past the halfway point. Let's take a look and see what happened to bring out this yellow flag. Well, they got 4 wide here for a second. This was back just around 20th place. Noah Cars, John Cittadino, Daniel Bouchard, and there's the contact right there. I don't know if JT Bryant hooked Bouchard into Cittadino or if Cittadino came up into Bouchard, but one way or the other, they go up, they get the fence, and Baskinger's caught on the high side. Nowhere for him to go, nowhere for London to go. Voiles, they just all were caught on the high side. And look at Anthony McCrory. The points leader just slips by. Little bit of contact there for James Richardson in the 6. And there you see, I believe Bouchard and Bryant may have come down onto the racing surface and gotten caught where the apron and the racetrack meet, and that's why they had to teleport, because it didn't look like they hit the wall hard enough that they would be stalled out there. There you see the 4 car tried to get going. He stalled out, and there you see the 22 stalls out. So that's why they had to teleport to pit road. I believe both of them have gotten repaired, have returned back to the racetrack, but I don't think they're on the lead lap now. So that's what put us under the caution for the first time here today. Hopefully the last time at Talladega, but then again, with Talladega, you can never be too sure. Well, after that incident, one driver did retire. Daniel Bouchard, the damage too significant for them to repair, so he has retired from the race. JT Bryant has returned to the racetrack, but he has scored 1 lap down to the race leaders. He will, however, not start up on the inside line because there will be less than 10 to go when we go back green. If I'm not mistaken, we're going to have, I want to say, 5 laps to go when we hit the stripe. Maybe 6 laps to go if we're lucky. The more laps we have to run into green, the better chance we have of a good finish. And speaking of a good finish, we may be in for that regardless of how many laps are left, because the big question mark right now is fuel. Now, Benjamin Miles came in from the 3rd position for a gas and go stop. A number of other drivers followed him, but there are quite a few drivers that did not come to pit road under this caution. And so they will be restarting up in the top 10. Kean Eddington, the leader when the caution came out. Jeremy Jones, 2nd. Neither of them pitted, so they'll restart in 1st and 2nd. Leon Alvarez, he'll start in 3rd. Sean Galligan, 4th. Noah Cars in 5th. 6th place, Emmanuel Hartnett. 7th, Holden Gluba. 8th, Mason Wood. 9th place, Tristan Folks. 10th will be John Arndt. 11th, Cooper Cyron. And Charles Sanford completes the top 12. Now, those were the 12 drivers who did not come to pit road. So it's a big question mark on whether they can make it the rest of the way on fuel. It's a gamble, and for a couple of them, a very risky gamble if you're Kean Eddington, Noah Cars, or Jeremy Jones, because if you come to pit road, lose a lot of spots, you're maybe going to be eliminated mathematically from competing for the championship next week at Auto Club. First of the drivers to pit was Benjamin Miles. He will restart from the 13th position. So you got to think from Benjamin Miles on back, they're breathing a bit of a sigh of relief knowing that more than likely they can make it the rest of the way on fuel now. Austin LaPlante will restart in 14th, Jessica Shelton 15th, 16th is Joshua Lee, 17th Blaine Keys, 18th is Joseph Srigley, 19th William Brock, and Ryan Madden completes the top 20. Mason Powers 21st, 22nd will be Matt McIntyre, 23rd Levi McIntyre, Carson Scott 24th, there's JT Bryant, a lap machine in between of 24th and 25th. Dylan Poteet in 25th, Rocco Twyman 26th, 27th is Ryan Acosta, 28th Trent Dunham. There's Anthony McCrory still running, still on the lead lap, still up to speed. He's in 29th place. 30th Chris Dowd, Dylan Young 31st, 32nd Sam McMillan, 33rd Brandon Gonzalez, 34th James Richardson, 36th place is 35th rather is Daniel Voiles, 36th is our pole sitter Joshua Circuli, Tim Walsh back here in 37th, 38th place Pichu London, 39th is Jake Baskinger just trying to soldier on. You can see they didn't really repair much damage on that machine, so we'll have to see if he's still up to speed. Same for John Cittadino in the 72 who will restart in 40th place. As I said before, JT Bryant, the only car a lap down in 41st, one driver out of the race, Daniel Bouchard in the 4 car. So we'll get ready to go back green, 6 laps to go. If you're Benjamin Miles on back, yeah, you're probably really excited. Yeah, we can make it the rest of the way on fuel, but what if these guys up ahead of you run out of fuel in the closing stages of this race? Are you going to have your wits about you to be able to avoid them when their speed begins to decrease? This is going to be an interesting race of fuel mileage as Kian Eddington leads Jeremy Jones, Leon Alvarez, Sean Galligan and Noah Cars down. Wait a minute, is Eddington out of fuel already? No, he's going to get up through the gears, he's good to go, but they kind of stacked up there. We're going to have to keep a close watch on these drivers and see if anybody starts decreasing in speed. Jones, Eddington, they get out to a pretty sizable lead right now. Getting up through the gears, up to 185 for the leader, Kian Eddington, looking to see if anybody darts to the apron with the indication that they're out of fuel. Not right now. Hopefully, if they do run out of fuel, it'll be somewhere close to the entrance of pit road so they can dart to pit lane without being a roadblock for some of these other drivers who know they can make it on fuel. Right now, I believe the highest runner of the drivers that came to pit road at this point in time is Jessica Shelton in the 02. So if all these other drivers who stayed out ran out of fuel, she would cycle around as the race leader. Still up to speed though is Kian Eddington. Top 5 have broken away. Eddington, Jones, Leon Alvarez, Mason Wood, and there is John Arndt. Trying to pick up second win in a row, perhaps, for AS Racing. You gotta wonder how much fuel were these drivers up here that started 1st through 12th able to save under those pacing laps. Shelton at the tail end of this lead draft. Drivers having difficulty getting around Cooper Cyron, who I'm not exactly certain is up to speed. Causing a bit of havoc for them. So there's a gap from 11th place Tristan Folks on back to 12th place, which right now would be William Brock getting around on the high side. Right there, Jessica Shelton, this could work out very well into her favor because everybody up ahead of her stayed out on that caution flag and is trying to gamble and risk it on fuel. So this is a perfect opportunity for Shelton at this current point in time. She's got to hope, though, that LaPlante, Benjamin Miles, a number of those other drivers who pitted under the caution don't catch back up to this lead pack. Uh-oh. Sounded like someone got out of the gas. Yep, they're coming to pit road. Drivers who risked it to stay out, they can't make it. They're coming to pit road. And there's a couple that actually are still trying to risk it. Kian Eddington, Jeremy Jones. William Brock just got around Jessica Shelton, so now he'd be in line to take the lead, but look at the pack behind him starting to reel him in. This could be the lead pack in a matter of a couple laps. Oh, buddy. Can Kian Eddington and Jeremy Jones make it on fuel? They've got to make it around about 2.5 more laps. Speed seems to be decreasing on Kian Eddington. He's coming to pit road. So is Jones. And the lead cycles over now to Jessica Shelton, leading a 5-car pack. Blaine Keys, Ryan Madden, Austin LaPlante, William Brock, and then don't look now, here come the McIntyre boys. Levi and Matt bringing Benjamin Miles with him. Here comes Joshua Lee with Dylan Pote, Ryan Acosta, Sam McMillan, Carson Scott, and Mason Powers. They want to be a factor in this at the finish. If these drivers start getting racy up here at the front, they're going to get reeled in. And here we go. They're starting to slide around, trying to pick lanes as Ryan Madden goes for second. It'll be white flag next time by. How many drivers are going to be in the hunt for this win? Right now, we've got 8 drivers in the lead pack. It could be 15 before we get through. White flag displayed. 1 more lap to go. Shelton leading Ryan Madden. Will Madden make a move? Here he comes to the inside. Does he have drafting help? Yes. William Brock in the 7. Levi McIntyre in the 99. Madden going for the lead. Up here in the top 5. None of these drivers have been to victory lane yet. One of them could here today. Look at Levi McIntyre. Help from Matt McIntyre on the bottom. He's going to go 3 wide for second. Ryan Madden's going to try and block all the lanes, though. Can he hold off the McIntyre boys? Coming through 3 and 4. Will Levi McIntyre make a move? Will Matt McIntyre follow him there? No move made yet, and time's running out. Down through the tri-oval, Ryan Madden's going to hang on and capture his first win of the season here today at Talladega Superspeedway. And the fans are going crazy as the 88 wins at Dega. The fans are always on their feet when Dale Jr. takes the lead, while the 88 took the lead and the win on the final lap. And I'm looking back through the field, and I'm seeing the 25 of Benjamin Miles, who finished in 6th place. Depending on where Anthony McCurry finished, Miles could be the main source of competition for that championship next week. But Ryan Madden continues the streak. We had a first-time winner of Cooper Syron 2 weeks ago at Michigan. Last week at Homestead, Miami, Carson Scott picked up his first win of the season, and here today at Dega, Ryan Madden will capture his first win of the season here in the Hersheys Cup Series. Now comes the moment of truth. Who is still in the hunt for this championship? Anthony McCurry finishes out the day in the 20th position. Joshua Lee came in 36 points back. He finished 4 spots ahead in the 16th position. That means he'll be 32 points back heading into next week. He is still mathematically eligible for the championship. Joshua Circuli came in 39 points back. He finishes 14th. He gains 6 points. He's 33 points back. He is still in the hunt for the championship. Benjamin Miles finishes 6th. That's 14 points that he gained on McCurry. He's only 26 points back from McCurry heading into next week. He jumps up to 2nd in the standings. My dog's barking with excitement. As I look through the rest of the results here, it looks like those might be the only 4 that will be battling for the championship next week. Jeremy Jones had a shot but had to pit late. He finishes out the race in 29th, so he finishes behind McCurry, which means he is mathematically out. Same for Noah Kars. He had to pit late, 37th. He now is mathematically out. Jake Baskinger finished 27th, but that was behind McCurry, so he is out. Same for Kian Eddington, finished behind McCurry in 28th. He's out. Mason Powers, now he managed to finish 12th. That was 8 positions ahead of McCurry, but that would have only put him 65 points out, which is still mathematically ineligible for the championship. So it is going to come down next week between Anthony McCurry with a 26-point lead over Benjamin Miles, a 32-point lead over Joshua Lee, and a 33-point lead over Joshua Circuli. Those will be your 4 championship competitors heading into next week at Auto Club. McCrory still with a pretty sizable lead, though, 26 points over his nearest competitor. It's going to be his championship to lose next week at Auto Club, no doubt about that. Thank you all so much for tuning in to today's race at Talladega Superspeedway. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to Cover the Crew today. Here's your full finishing results once again. Down through 42nd, only 1 driver out of the race, and only 1 caution flag at the midway point of today's event. Here come now your official full point standings as well as your chase points. It'll be McCrory versus Miles versus Circuli versus Lee next week at Auto Club, as you've been watching a production of the NNSCRA Offline Racing at its best.